Hi there, it's Wise here. How are you guys? Let me start by saying first off, I love you guys and thank you so much for stopping by the channel once again. Um, as always, I'm here to send you guys some wise words. So, what we're talking about today is attention, or better yet, your attention, please. I get a lot of my friends asking me about how I stay so focused, or what things do I do to stay focused, or why do I find it so important. So I believe that having a video out there to share with people about what attention is or how to strengthen your attention would be beneficial to pretty much anybody who was interested in strengthening their attention. So first we'll talk about the definition of attention. Then we'll talk about ways to strengthen or why is attention important. Then we'll talk about ways to strengthen and employ your attention. Then we'll talk about the benefits of having a strong attention. Then we'll talk about the ramifications of having a weak attention. And then finally, we'll talk about some foods and things that can help you with your attention and also your memory. So first, let's start with the definition of attention. What is attention? Well, Webster's defines attention as the act of power of carefully thinking about, listening to, or watching someone or something. I believe that's a really good definition. You can also take it a step further. It could be also the duration that you can apply that same power, which some would define as focus. But no matter what you call it, attention is a very, very, very important thing, which brings us to our second point. Well, why is attention important? Attention is important because it will be the chief factor in driving many things in your life, such as memory, imagination, cognitive brain thinking, problem solving. All those things are based off of what type of attention you're able to give that current situation. For instance, the active memory is just about being able to recollect a situation the way that it happened, or whether it's a piece of poetry or a movie scene, anything like that. It's being able to recollect it accurately. And that is all indicative to what type of attention you paid to it at the time that it happened. So that's just one aspect of why attention is important. Like I said, attention also plays a chief role in imagination, which we'll get to in a little bit. But a lot of people don't believe that imagination is important, but it really is. If you don't have a good imagination, you're not able to manifest the things that you want. If you can't first envision yourself in that situation or with that thing that you're looking to have, then you can't manifest it. You can't get it because you haven't seen yourself with it or achieving that goal. But that's neither here nor there at the moment. Like I said, we'll get to things like that. Well, first let's talk about ways to employ your attention and strengthen it. One thing that I like to do, many people probably won't find this practice practical, but what you could do is try to learn something new, learn something that you currently hold no interest in whatsoever. For instance, if you've never done martial arts, maybe try some martial arts. Nothing too difficult. You can look up a lot of stuff on YouTube or other places online for free that will teach you a little bit of martial arts, or dancing, for instance, or cooking, reading books that never interest you before. Say if you like reading books, fictions, you can go and start reading non-fictions, reading more manual based, uh, reading things that are or coming from different parts of the world that may not have anything to do with you, but if you turn your interest upon those things and focus your attention, you'll be able to strengthen it. You'll train your brain to take interest in things that it no longer before didn't have interest in. Another thing that you could do is actively bring your thought power back to what you're doing, no matter what it is. Say that you've spent the past 5 years sitting at a desk typing and you're a receptionist. You haven't practiced your keys in a long time. You could try practicing your keys, see how quick that you've gotten, see if you can get quicker. See if you could do it blindfolded. See if you could do it with someone trying to distract you. There's many different ways to actively employ your attention. And by actively doing so, you train your brain to start paying attention to things, paying attention to smaller and more minute details that somebody else may not have caught on to before. You find yourself taking in information better than you did before because now your brain is seeing it from a lot of different angles. So by actively employing your will, which is another form of attention. So you're actively employing your willpower to your attention. You can strengthen your willpower or your attention. And adversely, you can also strengthen your willpower by using your attention, such as if you're on a diet and you have a hard time not eating sweets. If you bring your attention to it, that every time you think about a sweet or every time you think about going and getting that cupcake, you have a mental no more. You build a mental response that as soon as you think of something sweet, you drink some water, and maybe that will satiate you, or you drink some water with lemon in it, and that will satiate you, or you have a small sweet snack in comparison to the big one that you had before, and now you're bringing attention to what you want to focus your willpower on and help strengthen your willpower. Because if you do that in small steps, then eventually you're able to take bigger and bigger steps and do bigger and bigger things. So, what are some of the benefits of having a strong attention? Well, having a strong attention, like I mentioned a moment ago, will help you learn things quicker. It will also help you feel less mentally drained. Well, the reason for which is because now you're not focusing too much brain power on things that should be remedial or easy to do, solving tasks, the day-to-day business going on, balancing your checkbook. A lot of people don't do that anymore. They let the bank or the online account do that. But getting gas in your car and thinking about how you're going to organize your day or what order you're going to do things in. There's tons of ways that having a strong attention benefits your life. You can now turn your attention inward. You can pay attention to your breathing. You can pay attention to if you have aches and pains in your body before they get too bad, or you can also start paying more attention to your loved ones and noticing how they're feeling or things that they're going through. There's a lot of benefits to having a strong attention. Once you start strengthening your attention and seeing the benefits and the ramifications of such, you won't want to go back. You'll continue to find different ways to strengthen it. You'll start trying new acts, things that you never thought you wanted to try before. It's a very, very, very empowering thing to start strengthening your attention. But adversely, like anything, like any muscle that goes untrained or any practice that goes untrained, if you have a weak attention, bad things can happen. You can find yourself not able to learn things. You can find yourself being discouraged to try new events or going to hang out with new people. Or you might find yourself staying in a position that you're currently in because you're too adept or inept to go learn something new. It can get very discouraging. There's a lot of terrible, terrible things that happen to people that don't know how to employ their attention. Learning is a chief benefactor of attention. If you don't have a high attention span, learning any new thing, whether it be a language, an art form, driving, any type of craft, anything that you want to, hope to learn at any point in your life, if you have a weak attention or a low attention span, you're not going to be able to complete it, at least not easily. It'll take you a lot of repetition to build that into yourself. And the more attention you have, the lower the repetition it takes to learn something. And repetition is the father of learning, we all know. So I would like to close by telling you guys just a couple of foods and things that you can do to eat and really help strengthen your attention and also your memory. One thing is vitamin C, vitamin B through 12, which actually lowers homeocysteine in the bloodstream that prevents brain shrinkage, which we all want to have a bigger brain, right? Another thing that you can do is eat blueberries, nuts, any foods that are high in folic acids, which also are good for converting amino acids, which helps strengthen your DNA and other parts of your body. It also helps with blood reproduction. Anything that's high in folic acids, you gotta get your folic acids in. Any through garlic or onions. There's a lot of ways to get your folic acid in. Once you start looking at different minerals, there's tons of minerals that will help benefit not only just your attention span and memory, also your skin, your teeth. There's tons and tons of minerals out here, and I'm just giving you guys a couple. Sage and a sage essential oil is a tremendous one. It really, really helps with focusing. It also just smells good. I'm a big fan of sage. Beautiful, beautiful aroma. One of the things that you also can do is that you can start growing those herbs or those plants in or around your house. Just the smell and the aroma of them also help with cognitive brain function and also neuroplasticity. So guys, those are just a couple things I wanted to share with you about attention. There's definitely going to be more videos about it in the future because I feel that it's a very important subject. Also, there's going to be videos about memory and cognitive brain function and sleep. So just be on the lookout, and I hope that this really, really helps you. I'm also going to do some little snips on books that you can read, psychology books, and also some esoteric books that you can also read about attention, brain function, and things like that if you have an interest in. So leave comments. I'm gonna give you guys a way to comment me or get a hold of me on my Instagram. So just be on the lookout for that. And I thank you so much for coming around. And always, infinite love, peace, and wisdom.